What's up, YouTube? How's everyone doing? Um, yeah, happy new. Oh yeah, I always say Happy New Year, all that crap. Okay, so basically, last couple of months I've stocked up some CDs and some vinyl records. So here are some of the CDs right now. First album I'm about to show you guys is the Jacksons live album released in 1981 on Epic Records. You guys should know Jacksons, of course. Everyone and their mom should know. Basically, this was during the time when they had just dropped the Triumph album. Dope album I need to get my hands on. And Michael dropped the Off the Wall joint. And yeah, like, mostly they're doing songs from that era, like the Triumph and Off the Wall. And, a couple of Motown songs and songs from Epic. So yeah, this is back at their prime in my opinion. Like, I always say that album and Triumph was like the last great album together, in my opinion. I didn't care too much for Victory or even 2300 Jackson Street. It has some okay songs, like the title track. I like that. But other than that, I didn't care too much for those two albums. Next album is an album I've already done a review on, but I don't care. It's J. Rue the Damages, The Sun Rises in the East, released in 1994 off Payday, off FFRR, off Polygram. Yeah, I've done a review on this album. Classic album. I know you guys are wondering why it took me so long to get this album, but I've always felt like I can find this album in stores. So yeah, I mean, but low-key, I just copped the CD, of course. And yeah, since like I actually do have this like I might do a tribute episode on this album. But this album just, everything about this album, the lyricism, complexities, the concept, production, Gangstar at its prime, J. the Damager at his prime. And yes, this is actually like the World Trade Center, in case you guys, this is the first time y'all really seen this cover. Yeah, because they tried to bomb it back in like 93, 94 and shit like that. So yeah, Then I got Madonna's debut album back in 1983, released on Sire and the Warner Brothers. Yeah, I've already had her Bedtime Stories album, which is in my opinion my favorite album from her. Like, although I say 89 through 98 is my favorite years for Madonna, low-key, this album, not a bad album, low-key. Like, production is pretty dope. Singles albums known for are Everybody, Burning Up, Holiday, Lucky Star, and Borderline. Yeah. And it's kind of crazy because Jelly Bean, from the time, he actually remixed like Holiday and two other songs too. So yeah, very dope album. If you like that early 80s sound, must have in your collection. Then I got Capadonna's debut album, The Pillage, released in 1998 on, what's the label? Razor Sharp under Epic. You guys should know who Capadonna is. He is arguably the most well-known Wu affiliate. Like, he has, his first appearance on Wax, I believe, was if I'm not mistaken, it was Raekwon's Ice Cream, but I could be wrong. And so yeah, he appeared on countless Wu projects, like Iron Man, Wu-Tang Forever, of course. And this debut album was released in '98. Very, very, very dope album. Like, this album was a fucking classic in my opinion. Like, very. And it's kind of crazy because this was released at a very weird time for the Wu and shit like that. More on that soon. So yeah, like, dope album, The Pillage. I think the singles that came out of this album, let me look it up. Singles. Slang, Editorial, and Run. Those were the singles. But my favorite song off this joint, I'm just gonna spoil it for you right now, is Milk the Cow. Oh, that's like one of my favorite True Master beats and shit. Like, and yeah, in case you guys, if you guys have saw on my post, I'm definitely planning on reviewing the second Wu solo albums, because I know a user asked me to do that and shit like that. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna review like everything from Takao 2000 to ODB's Nigga Please, and concluding with the fucking Supreme Clientele album. So, and yes, I would definitely include this album. So, and I definitely like The Pillage better than the fucking Yin and Yang album he came out 01, which was just fucking horrendous and shit. Next album, one of my favorite East Coast hip hop albums of all time. The Diplomats, aka Dipset, with Diplomatic Immunity, released in 2003 off Rockefeller, off Diplomat, off Def Jam. Oh, fucking classic album. This is the album really put New York, like, whenever I think of East Coast hip hop in the early 2000s, I always think of like Dipset, like 98 to like 03. That was like the Dipset era and shit. So yeah, singles albums known for are, hold on, give me a second. Yeah, Dipset Anthem, love that song, I Really Mean It, Ground Zero, and Bout It Part 3 with Master P. Like, and it's like a double disc album too, and like low-key, this whole album just knocks and shit. Like Real Niggas, what else? What's the song you got? Who I Am, My Love, like, yeah. And in my opinion, I always felt like 2003 and 2004 were like the last great years of Dipset, in my opinion. Because after this, they went like down. It's like a steadily decline, in my opinion. Like, I didn't care for the Diplomatic Immunity 2, because that album is just too commercial, in my opinion. But yeah, Diplomatic Immunity must have in your collection. Then on the Rockefeller grain, we got Jay-Z with the Dynasty album, released in Rockefeller, Def Jam in 2000. When I first heard this album, well, let me get to the singles. I Just Wanna Love You, Give It To Me. Low-key, this is spoiler free right now. That's a song I can never stand. Like, I mean, I like the beat and everything, but that I'm a hustler, babe, like, it just got old pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me fix this camera. Yeah. I just actually dropped my laptop a little early, but it still works. Okay. Which one? Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, then we have Change the Game and Guilty Until Proven Innocent. When I first heard this album, low-key, I have to be real with you, I did not like it. I don't know, I felt it was just a little bit too commercial, a lot of hit or miss songs, but then over the years, the album kind of grew on me. And believe it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, Dynasty is a very important album in Jay-Z's discography. For one, this album, he added like producers that would change his whole style and that he would work with for like the main parts of his career. Just Blaze, Bink, who else? Neptunes and Kanye West. Yeah, so those four producers have had an impact on Jay-Z's career. Two, originally this was supposed to be a Rockefeller album, but at the same time, like, Def Jam thought, oh, it would sell more if it was a Jay-Z album. Because I think the reason why I didn't like it was just the too many guest appearances and shit. But then over the years, I've come to appreciate this album more. Like, I think songs like Get Your Mind Right, Miami with Snoop, This Can't Be Life, Where Have You Been, like, definitely expect a review on this album and shit. So glad I got this in my collection. Do I like it better than Volume 3? Stay tuned. I got a lot to say about that. And you know what? Keeping on the Jay-Z train, I got that good shit right now. This is that all my Rockefeller heads should know about. The infamous Streets is Watching. The Streets is Watching soundtrack. Like, I don't care what nobody says. This is only like for Jay-Z heads. You have to be like a Jay-Z head to know about this shit. Like, for those of you who don't know about The Streets is Watching, he put out a documentary back in like 98 where like he was like in this old neighborhood, was talking about his music and, you know, just his day-by-day routine with Rockefeller and shit like that. And the movie was also dope because it included like his first 2 music videos in my lifetime, and I can't get with that. And also, if you really want to think about it, this was really the unofficial Dynasty album, because just like Dynasty, it wanted to put spotlight on Rockefeller artists like Memphis Bleak. You had like Christian. You had fucking Sauce Money. Like, yeah, man. Also, what else about this album? Like, let me get to the singles though. It's Alright. Where they fucking Memphis and Jay just went off on that Talking Head sample. What else? Love for Free that's a Rel song which features Jay-Z. And although this was not really a single, it was like unofficial. It's the In My Lifetime remix. That's like in my top 5 favorite Jay-Z songs. Just that remix, that beat. Like, what's the meaning? What's like fucking? This is one of my favorite Jay-Z projects and shit. Like, this hands down. And if you guys haven't seen Streets of Watching, make sure you go see that because it's very good and shit. Next album, we got RZA with Bobby Digital, or Bobby Digital in Stereo, released in 1998. This was released on G Street V2 under BMG. Whether you want to believe it or not, this is one of the albums that changed hip-hop forever. Singles, this album was known for... Wait, did it even come out with singles? Let me see. Let me see. I think it came out with a couple singles. But yeah, while I'm looking for if it came out with singles, yeah. Because this was released back in 98 when hip-hop was still using like a lot of like sample heavy shit. Like, although, only single came out with B.O.B.B.Y. basically, yeah. Like, the only single this album came, like, only like, let me rephrase. Because the album mostly used like a keyboard orchestrated kind of sound and shit. And it was a sound that RZA was kind of hinting during like the Wu-Tang Forever album and shit. And so, yeah, I'm gonna definitely talk about more of the story about Bobby Digital once I do a review on it. But this is actually a dope album. I mean, like, it's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody. And shit like that. And if you would ask me, this is like one of his best solo albums to date, because his future solo albums, like Digital Bobby, it was too much. It was a bit too much and shit. Kind of like self-indulgent. But this album must have in your collection. Like, Wu heads know about this shit. Then we have Guns N' Roses with Use Your Illusion 1, released in 1991 on Geffen Records. I already have Use Your Illusion 2, which I mentioned, like, I think like about 3 years ago. Damn, 3 years ago, wow. Scratched it now, it was actually 4 years ago, yeah. Whew. 4 years I had that, but yeah, this was like more of the hard rock counterpart of Use Your Illusion 2. Although, like, it did have like it had like a lot of piano songs and shit. Like the emphasis was hard rock, while Use Your Illusion 2 was more like a progressive sound. And this is like my favorite of the series, if you ask me. Singles albums known for are Knock on Heaven's Door, the Bob Dylan. Wait, was that on this album? Scratch that. That was on the other album. Excuse me. Live and Let Die, the Paul McCartney and Wings cover. November Rain and Don't Cry. Yeah, this was actually nominated for Best Rock Album of 2000 and shit. Very dope album. The Guns N' Roses I like because after Use Your Illusion 2, they just went down south. I need to get the Spaghetti Incident. I might get that, and I definitely need to get GNR Lies. But and the last album, this is the album I'm dying to get. Miles Davis in a Silent Way, 1969, on Columbia Records. This album right here is definitely one of the most controversial albums of all time. Like, this was released at a time when his infamous electric period happened, where he would like, instead of like the still model cool jazz he was known on doing, he added like more electric guitars, rock musicians, like dirty drums, and create like what was known today as jazz fusion. Back in the day, it was very controversial back in the day and stuff like that, and a lot of rock jazz heads were kind of looking at him like, what is you doing? Like, are you crazy or some shit? But yeah, like, and this album, he kind of introduced it in like live performances on like Miles in the Sky and the Phyllis de Kilimanjaro album. But this was really the album where he really just took it on another level. Like, and just look at the album cover. It's just, he looks so paranoid, so like, this is why I love jazz albums back in the day. The album covers just, you just enter an adventure with this shit. But definitely In a Silent Way, one of my favorite albums of all time. If you ask me, I like this album more than Bitches Brew. And I'm a huge Bitches Brew fan, like, but must have in your collection. And that's all the albums I have. Stay tuned for more. Peace.